Yes, Sujata, we
Yeah.
can begin.
Shall I start? Okay. A warm and hearty I am coordinator for innovation activity, IIC St.Ann. Take this privilege in welcoming you all to the workshop, Entrepreneurship and Innovation as a Career Opportunity. Prayer creates awareness that God and Guru are going to get everything done through me. Praying increases Atma Shakti. A day without prayer is a day without power. I request Ms. Pushpalata, Head Department of MCA, to lead us in prayer.
Sujata, we'll just wait for a minute. I think, Lata ma'am probably got disconnected due to some technical issue. We'll just restart in a minute. Lata, you can start, Lata.
Yes, screen is visible?
Yes. We can begin off with prayer, Lata.
Yes. Scripture portion is taken from Psalms chapter 21, verses 1 to 5. O Lord, in your strength the king rejoices, and in your salvation how greatly he exalts. You have given him his heart's desire, and have not withheld the request of his lips. For you meet him with rich blessings. You set a crown of fine gold upon his head. He asked life of you. You gave it to him, length of days forever and ever. His glory is great through your salvation, splendor and majesty, your bestow on him. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks to the Lord.
Stars of blessing. This is the promise of love. There shall be seasons with blessing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessing, showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops down as are falling, but for the showers we plead. Showers of blessing, showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops down as are falling, but for the showers we plead. Showers of blessing, send them upon us, O Lord. Come to us now with blessing, come and the honor that word. Showers of blessing, showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops down as are falling, but for the showers we plead.
Continue, Sujata.
Before introducing to you all about the workshop, I would like to speak about IIC St.Ann. Ministry of Education, Government of India has started its innovation cell to systematically foster the culture of innovation among all higher education institutions. St. Anne's has acquired IIC status in the year 2019. IIC at St. Anne's always strive to promote innovation and entrepreneurship in the institution through multinumerous nodes, leading to an innovation and entrepreneurship culture in the campus. Under its guidance, a workshop on entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunity is organized with an objective to nurture, inspire, and encourage the young minds to work with new ideas and to provide them with an opportunity to view knowledge of entrepreneurship and innovation as a valuable asset if the students aim for a career in this field. There is no minimum eligibility to become an entrepreneur. Brilliant education skill and zeal is all that needed, and a strong educational background can increase the probability of success. And hence, the workshop aims at this. Now, major takeaways for all the participants would be that success don't come overnight. It requires a lot of dedication, commitment, perseverance, and see every hurdle as a challenge to bring out the best from them. Now, it is indeed, in order to deliver a session on this, now I welcome Mr. Mahesh Kumar Garu. Indeed, my immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Mahesh Kumar CV sir with a green greeting. Now I request Nasreen, Senior Faculty from Department of Nutrition, to give the brief profile of sir.
Good morning, everybody. It is indeed a pleasure and honor to introduce Mr. Mahesh Kumar. He's a co-founder and Chief Executive Officer, Chief AI Officer at Orbit Shifters, and has been in the analytics space for more than 16 years. Mr. Kumar is one of the very few futuristic thinkers in this field and has helped many organizations in defining the vision for their product monetization programs. Prior to finding Orbit Shifters, he has worked with Dalmia Bharat Group, IBM, Computer Science Corporations, Mindtree, and Rolta organizations in analytics and big data spaces. His credentials, some of his credentials include, he's been a mentor of change at Niti Aayog, Government of India, and lectured 20,000 plus students on AI and analytics topics. He's a SAP mentor and IMDA approved AI and ML trainer in Singapore. He has trained more than 15,000 resources in SAP analytics and big data and artificial intelligence. He's been featured in SAP TV and featured in several AI interviews in Enadu television. Mr. Mahesh is a recipient of Best Chief Operations Officer by Evolvex at IIT Hyderabad in 2019. He has served as a national thought leader in Confederation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Without further delay, I would like to heartily welcome Mr. Mahesh Kumar, sir, to take over the session. Looking forward to an exciting session, sir. Welcome.
Sir, you are on mute.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the warm welcome and the quick introduction. Okay, I think, yeah, I can share my screen. Yeah, can somebody confirm what exactly appearing on the screen?
The first slide, sir.
Yeah. So hope you guys are able to see my screen. Just please type yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Okay, I can see there are, wow, it's almost close to 229. Still it's counting. Okay, that's a good number. Okay, guys. So before getting to the main context, so I want you to have some kind of at least some interaction through a chat. So whenever you say some most innovative company, what hits you? What is that company name? Can you quickly type in the chat room? The most innovative company, irrespective whether it's a software, hardware, manufacturing, irrespective. Okay. Google. Okay, go on. HCL, Swiggy. Okay. Amazon, okay. Tesla, okay. Philips, okay. Apple, okay. Infosys, Flipkart, Microsoft, Deloitte, okay. Now, Bose Music, okay, it's Bose Music, okay. Now, let me refine the same question. The most innovative Indian company. Obviously, you will search and Tata, okay, that's good. Mahindra, okay. Birla, Infosys, Wipro. Guys, try to read my question. The most innovative Indian company, I said. Ford. Ford is not Indian company, my friend. Okay, obviously, whenever you say a most Indian innovative company, we need to step back and we need to think, right? Whereas if you say, if you remove India, immediately you will say a lot of company names, right? Well, which company introduced it? World's slimmest smart watch? Which company introduced world's smallest and smart watch? I'll give you a clue. It's not Fitbit. It's again Indian company. Indian company. I said Indian company, my friend. Fossil is not Indian company. TCS. I am not aware, my friend. TCS, when they introduced watches, even Reliance. Hey, try to understand my question. Who introduced world's smallest and smart watch? Sonata, not Sonata. Okay, it's by Tata. So I'm sure you heard Tata Edge, right? That's the watch. So when these guys think of doing this, when they ask some kind of a collaboration with Swiss, because Swiss watches are known popularly, right? Whenever you talk about the watches, they said it's impossible. That's where that it's possible. And one of the Indian company, they acquired two big motor, automobile companies. What is that? Okay, let me come on here. Reliance Bajaj, that's okay. Let me give you a clue. Tata, that's correct. So Jaguar and Land Rover got acquired by Tata, right? So technically, if you look at sometimes where people will innovate something new, which they're trying to solve some problem, until unless if you're not solving somebody problem, there won't be a much innovation required there, right? Because there should be some purpose when you are solving a problem. And the other way around, if you look at, people will, instead of solving or innovating something new, they will acquire the company which is already existing, right? Now, with that context, so quickly I want to go back to the topics, and I have around the 1.5 hour, so which I'll try to give you some of the examples how market is disrupting the market with a. I'll try to give you some of the examples, and then we'll talk about the mindsets, which whenever you are talking or thinking about innovation, what are the mindsets you need to include and inculcate. And we'll speak about a business model, because one of the things when you talk about entrepreneurship or a startup, so business model is the key. And then we will end up with the kind of habits which you need to practice and maintain, which will help you for that kind of habits. And then probably I'll just quickly end up with some kind of more questions. So let's start. So if you see, this is where your so now here we are here where this is very comfort life. being a student or being a, let's say you are working somewhere. Now, whenever you move from this to that, that is where the new world of possibilities. Now, if you are restricting yourself to your comfort life and you don't want to take any risk, that is where you will just fall in this bucket. Now, if you see, there is a one fish which is moving from here to there. That means entrepreneur is a, though it's a risk taken, but when you move from this bucket to that bucket, that is where you are going to create ample new opportunities, which is something like giving wings to fly to from one to other world. So as we always talk about, disruption is everywhere. So the world, what we live is called VUCA. We as a volatile, you as a uncertainty, C as a complex, E as a ambiguous. That means if you go back 10 years or 20 years back, world was so non-volatile where you are able to predict. Now, can you predict in the next 6 months which technology is going to come in? We can't, right? So that's where the world, what we live is called VUCA. Now with that, I want to run a video, but I'm not sure how it is going to stream. Okay, after some time I'll run it. Now with that context, if you look at, the winners are embracing with a new mindsets and tool sets. That's where always the game is changing, as if you look at the VUCA example. Now with that, I want to give you some of the disruption examples irrespective of the businesses in the market, how people are disrupting market, what are the new business models. Now let's look at one of the example from our backyard, Hyderabad. There is a one restaurant called Robo Kitchen, which is from Jubilee Hills. Traditionally, you know that whenever you get into some restaurant, once you order, and technically people are going to serve you, right? Just reimagine experience where you are going to order something to a robo and robo is going to serve you. That's where the new thought they come up, and they deployed almost 4 robots now. And this is live almost for the last 2.5 years, I think. It's available in Jubilee Hills. Maybe you can try. This is crazy. They call it as a paper laugh. You know that whenever you get into a theater or a comedy club, you need to pay certain money as an entry, right? Where these people has come up with a model. Your entry is absolutely free. Okay, your entry is free. There is no cost for entry. Once you get into the theater, how many times you laugh, paper that. That's called paper laugh. Now just imagine, for laughing also you need to pay money. And with the technology that is possible. If you look at, these are the seat numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and for seat number 1 had a 40 laughs, for which you need to pay $12. That means cost of each laugh would be 0.30 cents, and max would be at $24, not more than that. So that means you know that the max would be at $24. So now let's say if you have some kind of 40 laughs, for which you need to pay $12. And these guys are crazy. They introduced even paper cry. Can you imagine, for crying also you need to pay money? So that's the new innovative idea where they completely stopped using the traditional idea. So this got introduced in one of the Australian comedy club, and now it's widely adopted by multiple regions, multiple countries as well. Now, as you know, whenever if you say some videos, we'll use some kind of a software, and people used to create some smart and JC videos, right? So these guys called Synesthesia. So this is the company. They introduced a software where you can create videos just like that. Now, what are the tests you want? Just type in the text or copy paste in that editor. And the woman, what you are seeing on the screen is not an actual woman, is a robot. So like that, you can select apparently some 10 to 20 robo shapes are available. Just you can select, so that once you provide the text, by default, it is going to create a video for you. And when you look at that video, they will have as is the human, the way how we speak, it's the same, it's mimic the same. So with the use of artificial intelligence, the synesthesia, they introduced this. And you can create the videos with 40 plus different languages. So this is one more example from Amazon. So Amazon has collected huge amount of data about a consumer where they can predict even your buying pattern also, right? So with that, they got some, they introduced a new model called shop then ship to ship then shop. That means without ordering, without your knowledge, just imagine you will get a box from Amazon. You pick what are the products you want, remaining leave it. So the what are the products you not going to buy, those are the reverse logistics. Now just imagine the kind of a pattern by understanding your buying behavior, it is going to recommend you. So that's anticipatory shipping model. So yet it is not introduced in India. But traditionally, if you look at, so we'll get into the website and we'll pick what are the products, we'll add to the cart and finally check out, right? But this is completely ulta. So a box will come to you, pick what are the products you want, remaining leave it. And this example is from our backyard, Bengaluru. This guy name is Saad Nasser, around at the age of 14 years. He is one of the co-founder for one of the company from Bengaluru called Ati Motors. So these guys are going to trying to build autonomous electric cargo vehicle. Just imagine, we are talking about a 14 years kid who is one of the co-founder of one company from a startup. So sometime back, they just started and they were piloting, they're building their prototype. But now even these guys are doing a huge big commercial projects as well. And if you look at, I'm sure a lot of people watch cricket here. So whenever you have some query about the decision given by umpire, where you can, the captain can review the decision by showing like this, right? So that's called DRS in cricket, decision review system. Now, if you look at with the technology, once the video is captured, they can immediately they can process that and they can understand whether the decision is correct or not by looking at whether the ball is pitching in the line, whether the ball is pitching, the ball is the ball is hitting the wickets or not, right? Based on that, here you can see that pitching outside, impact, wickets hitting or not, and then finally decision. So this model got introduced by Hawkeye sometime back, and now this got adapted to multiple sports as well. At the end of the day, it's a business for them. Hawkeye will get some money whenever they collaborate for one of the any cricketing sport. And this example is from India, which is Tanbo Imaging. So can you believe the Bengaluru tech company gives eyes to the US Army? So if you look at this, where you have this small mount with here, so they manufacture only this thing. And this is the device is the most advanced tactical imaging system in the world. Just imagine, even of course, it's a part of Rafale Advanced Defense System as well. So Tanbo Imaging. This is crazy example. That's again from our Hyderabad. Just imagine, once you get into that machine, in front of that machine, you can you see there something called order here? Just use your mobile and scan and just say 5 plates of idlis. So in less than 1 minute, you will get 5 plates of idli with a delicious chutney and with a sambar, and you can taste it. Now just imagine. So it's a very small thing, but if you look at the problem which it is going to solve, it's a huge, right? Because in the evenings, if you look at in the restaurants, so what are the manual things they are going to do? They just automated everything. And this machine can produce 180 plates of idlis. It's a small tweaking. I don't say it's even innovation. It's a small tweaking the existing thing, right? So let's take one more example. India's first autonomous cashierless store. You just reimagine experience which you are going to get into a shop and pick what are the products you want and just walk out. Your bill is automated, your bill is automatically deducted from your account. So that's where we call it as a Vata sale, WATA Vata sale from Kochi. It's not from either Bengaluru or Hyderabad or Mumbai, it's from Vata sale. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Amazon Go concept. So it's the same replica of that. They just replicated it, but it's in Indian flavor. So Amazon Go is one of the cashierless store in US where you can just get inside and pick what are the products you want, and automatically the bill will be deducted from your account. It's in fact, it's not only India's first, it would be Asia's first autonomous cashierless store. And if you look at the first robo employee has deployed in Wonderla sometime back. Now let's say whenever in that adventurous park, whenever you have some query, you can interact with that robot, and it will tell you, it will guide you. Let's again, Flex Auto is it's a Bangalore-based startup. So autonomously, just imagine where you have some big Easter vehicles, and these guys are completely automated without driver. That's what we are talking about, autonomous driving vehicles. So it's already live now. Maybe very soon they're going to make it live. So before COVID itself, these guys are testing in outer ring roads of Bengaluru. So you can see that on top, one of the co-founder of that company, and if you see, there is no driver. So without driver, it is going to move. And Effectiva is just try to note this word, and whenever if you have some time, just try to install in your mobile and just play around with this. So we know that humans are good at identifying and understanding the other's emotions, right? So whenever if your friend is sad, immediately you will say, hey, what happened? Immediately you'll ask, right? Because we know that we can recognize the other person's facial expressions. So Affectiva has come up with some kind of a solution where it can recognize and identify the facial expression by any human, and it will rate your emotion in a percentage. So if I'm happy, what is that percentage? Is it the 80, 90, 95%? So once you install this and just play around, switch on your mobile and just keep your face in front of the cam, in a real time, it is going to rate. What is that percentage if you are happy? If you are sad, what is that percentage? Like that, it can give you it can identify 16 human emotions. And this example is a crazy, again, it's from our backyard, Bengaluru. The company called Nirmai. So they almost developed now to detect the breast cancer at a most early stage for the woman, and with a non-invasive radiation-free method. Because this is one of the biggest problem in the world, where the treatment the diagnosis will take huge time, right? Where these guys wants to cut it down to a level, and it can scale to the level where at a most economical way, they want to introduce this product. And the world's biggest long-haul carrier is obviously you have in Dubai. Now just imagine with the use of technology, so this handling baggages, identifying them and putting into respective the layers, everything is automated. There is no human intervention. So it's complete and end-to-end done by technology. And this is one more example. So usually if you look at the born babies, they will have some kind of a problem, what they call is apnea and hypothermia. So more breathing problems. So for the smart way, in the late nights or sometime, let's say you don't have a doctor there nearby, and when they have this problem, so automatically the small machine will detect, and it will give you some alarm to the nearby nurse or somebody. A small variable. Okay, so before moving to the next topic, I just thought of giving you some of the examples how market is disrupting as we spoke about VUCA world. Now let me quickly show you a video. So what we are talking about the VUCA world. Okay, there you go.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but students are messaging that the video isn't visible.
Okay, maybe that's their problem with their internet. My internet is fine. Okay, maybe you guys can just search VUCA. No, not VUCA. It's something. Yeah, VUCA. Did you know in 2028? Maybe you can just type in the YouTube. You will get the same video. Okay, any questions? It's not even visible in the beginning or something. Okay, then I think this is not shared actually. How about now?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Okay, good. What impact will the future of employment have on education? This is very important. The global economy is being transformed with the jobs outsourced to developing nations and artificial intelligence. So how was it? I don't say it's a scary or something. I don't want to scare you, how the world is going to look in the future. But this is what the reality is. With that, you need to prepare yourself to embrace the change. Okay, now let's talk about the few of the examples, around the 16 examples I shared. So why these people got developed something new, which they got disrupted market like anything. It's not done by everyone, right? Only very few people. Why? What was the reason? Do they have a huge money? Do they have a huge network? What was the special? Yeah, go on. How come a 14 years kid they're able to develop and not everyone? Okay, go on, go on. Betterment of humanity, creativity, okay, creativity, knowledge and motivation. So everybody will have knowledge, everybody will motivate. What else? Yeah, somewhat this is correct. Ability to solve the problems. That's the one. The other way around, creativity. Okay. What else? Come on, we have 270 people. I don't see even 27 answers, 27 messages here. Ideas. Okay. Okay. So they have everything. What is the additionally they implemented, they acquired, they use it is nothing but what we call as a mental habits or mindsets. That's what the mindsets which whenever if you are trying to become an entrepreneur or you want to do some kind of innovative business, this is what the new mindsets which you need to adapt. One mindset, one what we call is always moonshot. So in the beginning, when I asked about an innovative company, people said Google, people said Apple, right? So that is the kind of a culture they'll try to inculcate in their companies. When I say moonshots, think 10x times, not 10%. Can somebody give me example? What do you mean by think 10x times, not 10%? Any examples? Think 10 times, not just 10%. Okay. Guys, don't do English to English translations. The same statement you are saying. You think 10 steps ahead of everyone. Okay. That's again a good English to English conversation, a translation, I can say. Okay, let me give you one example. I'm not sure how many people heard about Arvind Eye Hospital. So this was started in Madurai sometime back. And if you look at across the globe, there were around 30 million people. By doing some kind of eye cataracts operations and surgeries, we can bring back their eyes. And they kept a mission looking at the capability and the resources what they have. They cannot deploy that much number of around 10 million doctors and they can do, right? They inspired from one of the basic idea and they built a kind of a hardware which essentially at a most economic way you can treat the patients. And they got inspiration from Xerox and STD machines. Sorry, STD booths. I'm not sure you guys know about Xerox machines. Your faculties and we are from that generation where we used to have some kind of STD booths. Whenever you want to do a STD call, those days were crazy. I'm talking about 90s. Now you have a mobile, you can call anywhere, right? But those were the days whenever you want to make some, now let's say you want to call to Jecharla, even in fact, or Nizamabad, you need to book a call that is called trunk call. Or the other way around, you go to just walk to some STD booth, dial the number. It's so simple. If you take Xerox, if you take STD booths, any layman, any even without education, people can operate that, right? So that's where they scale this. Just imagine the person who are treating here, they are not ophthalmologists. The person who treats for eye, they are known as ophthalmologists, right? After some kind of a training, they can do these operations. This is the meaning of 10x times, not 10%, right? So that's the mindset we need to adapt. Mistakes as a tool. The second mindset which you need to adapt is mistakes as a tool. So fail often in the beginning, learn from that mistakes and take it forward. So one of the things always, whenever we do some mistake, to share somebody, we will always shy, right? We don't quickly admit that mistake what we did, but rather proudly if you say, yes, I did this mistake and these are the learnings I learned from that. So that's the mindset which you need to adapt. So that's where we say always mistakes as a tool. Can you believe that there is a one failure innovation somewhere in New Zealand? Once you get inside in that museum, you have all the things. What was that idea? Where it got failed? Why it got failed? So you will get everything inside. That's the only here where you will see a museum of failure. They bought everything, whatever the things there, probably they pulled everything. This is crazy place. And the third mindset, which is a very important, which is curiosity for problem greater than passion, because we'll have a lot of passion. If you look at the kind of energy levels you have, even I don't have that energy, because that's the age matters, right? Now, if you see the image why I kept here, if you see these kids' energy levels, those are completely different. They're trying to peep in that, and they're just curious about what is there that side, right? That's the kind of energy levels we need to have, and always curiosity for problem, not for the passion, right? And the fourth mindset is ask a right question. This is one of the important mindset I can say. So asking the right question is always a good habit, maybe anywhere. Let me give you one example. One powerful question that led to the creation of Polaroid instant camera. The 5 years or probably 4 years girl, if she didn't ask that question, Dad, why do we have to wait? Now we are talking about a digital era where just you have a mobile, just take a photograph and immediately, instantly you can view it. But those were the days. If you go back, we used to have some kind of a reels with the camera inside, and you can have around 36 or 37 snaps. And once that is done, you need to give it to that for the lab for washing, and after that you will get right. Now just see that question has led the invention of Polaroid. Polaroid is nothing but instant camera. Once you click, immediately you will get with a print. All right. So that's the power of a powerful question. And extreme empathy. Can you see the world with your user eyes? To do that, you need to spend a lot of time with your users. You need to live in their lives. Then only you can see the world with their eyes, not our eyes, right? That's what we always say, extreme empathy, which is very powerful. And sixth mindset is prototyping. Now, what are the problem you're trying to solve? How quickly you can create a prototype, maybe with one feature working, just for the demonstration purpose. How quickly you can mold whatever the problem you're trying to solve, how quickly you can present it. by creating some small prototype. So these are the mindsets which you need to adapt. So as we say always, you need to rewire the mindset. You need to change the operating system in your head. Maybe in your laptops, in systems, you are using Windows 10, but the operating system, what we have in our head is outdated and very old. We need to rewire the mindset. So if you adapt all that mindsets and try to solve the problem, then automatically the fruits will follow. So let's look at some of the disruptive innovations. So in the previously also we saw some examples. Now let's try to see some more examples. The three dimensions of disruption, always if you look at, one is the emerging technology. So 10 years back, if you look at the kind of a hardware, the kind of technologies we don't have. Now, heavily we are talking about artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, virtual reality, augmented reality, Internet of Things. That's the one pillar. Then the second is the business model enablers. As I said, if with the latest advancements, if you see, the API is the economy now. The Facebook, if you look at Facebook is one API. And as we are talking about open source and IoT, Internet of Things, the majority of the economy of IoT is driven by sensors. The third is the business, the adoption of exponential adoption curves. How quickly you can use the technology when you're trying to solve the problems with the new innovative business models. That was the reason why I given that kind of examples. So those are the three dimensions of disruption. Now let's take examples. As we said, the disruption is a new norm now. Netflix, if you go back those days, in US especially, Blockbuster was one of the company who introduced whenever you want to have some kind of a movie for rental purpose, where Blockbuster, just you need to visit there and collect a DVD or a CD from Blockbuster and watch it and just give it back. That means every time you need to go back to that place physically. And they never adapted the streaming video concept. They completely went into losses and they got even bankrupt in 2010. The same, Netflix has introduced the video services where you can stream whatever the movie available in Netflix. I'm sure nowadays you guys are very familiar with the Netflix. The same, if you look at Kodak, as we are talking about the digital photography just now with while taking example for Polaroid, as in those days Kodak was very powerful and they never adapted the digital photography. That's where they completely out of market. So just imagine Uber, where they introduced the digital ride sharing platform. It's not only in India, across the globe. Just imagine the kind of a problem which they are solving. Wherever you want to move from place A to place B, just open that app, book a cab, and ride it. And Amazon has introduced the e-commerce platform, which is very widely. These are the companies which very heavily we are talking these days. And can you believe these are not existed before in somewhere 20 years back or 30 years back? If you talk, there is no Skype, there is no Netflix, there is no Airbnb. And just imagine, we are talking about a Facebook, which is the world's largest media company, the media content, and they don't have their own content. In Facebook, users are giving the content. If you remember, Facebook never give content, right? We always, they keep some kind of a competition. So 10 years challenge, then automatically users will flood with their photos, right? 10 years back, I am like this. Now I am here like this. Alibaba, world's largest merchandise, and he don't have his own inventory. Uber, world's largest taxi company, but they don't have their own cars. See, all this is good example of innovation. Now let's move to one of the important thing. This is the key for your business. Whatever the problem you are trying to solve, always you should have the business model, right? So how you are going to create the deliver and harvest the value for your business. So it's a standard 9 building blocks whenever you're trying to create your business model. So one is your customer segment, by which you are going to have your customers. So you need to very segment who is your customer, regional level, demographics level, right? Age, gender wise. So that's why we talk about always the customer segmentation. Then the value proposition. What is that value proposition you're offering with the product or a service? At the end of the day, when you're doing a business, there are two things. One, either you're going to introduce your product or you're going to render your service. In which, what is that value proposition? Now, let's say you have a huge competition in the market, right? Obviously, the people will ask you what's special in your product, what's special in your service. That's where the value proposition comes to the picture. Now, distribution channel. How do you deliver this value at the stage of buying process? Are you going to collaborate with some other people? And the fourth is customer relationship. How do you build a loyal and then enthusiastic tribe around your offer? Then revenue streams. At the end of the day, how you are going to make money? That's important, right? The revenue streams and key resources. What are the key resources involved in your business? Then key activities. Now, let's say as you are talking about if your commodity is a software, so building that software, building that platform is a key activity. Once that is done, the testing, the distribution. So like that, there will be multiple key activities. When, what, and key partners. So in a certain level, you need to partner to scale your business to the next level. You need to have a lot of partners, right? Who are the key partners? And cost structures. Now, all together, if you look at, these are the 9 core elements which are very crucial for your business model. And these are the standard. Whenever you talk about a business model, this is the standard canvas. And it's always very important that you need to validate your assumptions, because when you're trying to solve your problem, those are somewhere you understand there is some problem and which you are trying to solve, all your assumptions, right? Until unless these assumptions are not tested in the real world with your customer, then only you will get it right. So you need to validate until you make it right. So let me give you some examples for the business model, what we are talking. I'm sure everybody know about a Skype. Majority of the people are using here, right? Now let's look at the business model for Skype. So if you look at key partners, the payment providers, distribution partners, and telco. Key activities, developing that Skype as a software, the application which you develop, and key resources, software developers and software. Value proposition, it's free video calling, cheap calls to phones. Even you can buy some kind of a credits and you can call to any country. And relationships, mass customers. Customer segment, web users. If you look at people who wants to make a call to across some countries, they'll use, so which is web users globally, very segmented specific customers. And people who wants to call phones, only 2 types of customers here. And if you look at the channels, one is Skype.com and headset partnerships. The other way, the one more example is the Gillette. So I'm sure people know about Gillette, which is the key partners, manufacturers and retailers. Key activities, marketing, R&D, logistics. Value proposition, razor handle, where you have some ready-made stick, just use it, have some kind of a foam and use it. So this is very important for any business. The business model is the key. And while it's not that just you started your business and you went live. So before that, you need to validate your business models multiple times until you make right, because the perfection is your enemy. You need to make it right. Now, everyone in the room will have some question. How do I get started, right? So this is where you are here right now, today, and tomorrow when you try to identify that problem and build some kind of a prototype, and then finally take some feedback from the users and take to the next level and build some platform or a product. So let's see how technically it is possible. Step one, try to form a team of 3 to 5 people minimum, and make sure that the team should have a diversified background. Now, let's say if you are an MBA student, so don't identify your team. 5 people are from MBA with the same stream, maybe one from finance, one from marketing, like that. Make sure that you should have all the combination. Then step two, this is very important. So you need to solve only, you need to ask one question. What do you see which others don't see? That is what we are talking about, the seeing the unseen. So this is you're trying to solve some problem, right? Where you can see which others cannot see. So if you are able to answer this one complex question, it's not a simple question, it's a complex question, then this would be your torch barrier for your entire journey. If you identified your problem is wrong, then obviously your entire journey is wrong. So now you identified your problem. So you need to specifically identify your customer. If you are solving a problem at a healthcare level, your customer would be a patient or a doctor or somebody, right? Or a nurse. Now you need to crystallize your problem to a level where you need to understand the essence of the problem. So you need to crystallize. If you look at the image, what it is referring, that level, you need to crystallize your problem statement. DLO, that means day in a life of your consumer. As you said, you know that problem, you identified one problem, and you know your consumer. So as one of the mindset we said, what is that? Empathy. You need to see the world through their lens, through their eyes. And for that, you need to spend a lot of time with the customer. You need to walk few miles with your consumer. So we call it as empathy. And what if, how might we imagine giving some kind of a future experience to fly? Until unless if there is a no value proposition, obviously nobody is going to use this, right? I think a lot of people are trying to capture these images. Don't worry, guys. I'm already shared this presentation with Sujata madam. So after this session, this entire presentation would be shared with you. Don't worry. Just focus on the session. You will get these materials. I just created for you people. Don't worry. This is not a secret or something. It's only for you. Now, as you started forming the solution for your problem identified, how might we? That's where this is the another thing which you need to spend a lot of time. How might we convert? How might we give some kind of experience? All right. So that's HMW. And then the technology comes into the picture. As if you want to be in the market, you need to pick one or two latest technologies. Might be artificial intelligence plus some combination, AI plus IoT, AI plus 3D printing, AI plus drones. So AI, it's mandate nowadays. And what else? So once you are done with at least something you made, and just give it to your end user or a customer so that he can test and you'll get some feedback, and just inculcate those changes and try to improvise your features. So that's where you will get some kind of a feature. My feature, these are my top 6 features to be in my product. So then you will get some feature map. So with that, you are going to give a birth to your product by creating a prototype. So it is very essential that how much value you are going to unlock by introducing this product or by creating this product. How can you quickly pitch your product in less than 15 seconds? This is the new way. You don't think that investors are going to give you 5 minutes time, 10 minutes. Those days are gone. Now to qualify at a first level, you will have 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Once you qualify here, then you will get 1 minute. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with elevator pitch. Now let's imagine you have somewhere in the elevator, maybe in a 25th floor or 20th floor. While coming down, you will have hardly a 10 or 15, 20 seconds. So people ask you to even present in that places also. That's elevator pitch. And one of the important thing, once you have some prototype, now let's say you are ready and you want to launch your product in the market, you need to do 3 rats. There is a riskiest assumption test. Because somewhere it is essential and important that you need to test your blind spots. Because as you will have a lot of our assumptions, right? It has to get validated. So that's why you need to do whichever you feel the riskiest assumption test, you have to do that. So always think one experiment, at least for a month, if not for a quarter. So this is the basic things, the roadmap, which you want to do something, which you want to achieve. With my experience, I just created this roadmap. Maybe somewhere it can change. And majority of the cases, 90% it can be applicable. It will be the same. Any questions so far before moving to the next topic? Any questions? You can type or you can unmute yourself as we are moving to the last topic of the day. Okay, thank you, Irfan. Very intelligent question. Very, very intelligent question. How long will this webinar take? So do you think it is a boring?
No, sir, it's very interesting.
No, by looking at this question,
MCA students are there in the session, sir. It's
okay.
Very useful for the MCA students.
So this webinar is for open for all. Even the same kind of a presentations, even I used to give it for a class 8, class 9 students. Come on, you guys are doing PG. It's the same content, same topics. Okay, any questions before we move to the other topic? What are the latest products you think will be innovative? We already spoke few of the examples. Yeah, obviously. That's a good question. Did you take any risk and start any businesses? Obviously, when I was doing my corporate job with a handsome 6-digit salary, and I left my job and started this business. Obviously, it's a big risk, right? In the beginning, maybe you don't get, and I came out from my comfort life. Obviously, that's a big risk. Harika, there are 2 things here. Can you explain about a marketplace model and the inventory model? There won't be a marketplace model or inventory model. Rather, I can say call it as a business model. So until unless your business model is not right, whether it's a product or a service, whatever, at the end of the day, your business model is very important. Once you are done with your business model, then based on this, you are going to create your business plan. Without this, you can't do business. Because business model will answer all the questions for your business, like who, what, when, all this, the 5 W's. And business plan will give you the actual financials in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years. This is my business. This is what I'm going to earn. This is what forecasting, all that. So essentially, those are the 2 important things: business model and business plan. As such, there is no inventory model or something. Marketplace is a place where at the end of the day, where you're trying to sell your product or a service. That's nothing but a marketplace. Okay, Insha Parvez, if you are more interested, just try to connect, search my name in LinkedIn. At the end of presentation, I'll show you. I've written a lot of blogs on artificial intelligence specific to the business place, like AI uses in banks, AI uses in agriculture, AI uses in defense. Maybe you can just see that blogs. Maybe at the end of presentation, I'll show you that. Perfect. Okay, let's back to the presentation. Now, being a MBA students, or These habits are not for only MBA students or BBM students. Rather, I'll prefer to say in the room, whoever wants to take a risk in the future, who wants to become the vulnerable entrepreneurs, who wants to start a startup. That's for that people, this would be a good game-changing habits which you need to adapt and practice. Let's take it that. 6 game-changing habits for vulnerable entrepreneurs. 1. So a lot of places, B-plan competitions will be happening, right? Nowadays, it's even happening online, whether it's from Niti Aayog or a college-wise. Individually, every college, they introduce it. Nowadays, if you look at, it's become as part of the curriculum. Every year, some of the colleges, they introduce this B-plan competitions. Even in the B-plan competition also, it's the same. You're going to pitch your idea, right? So try to participate whenever possible. By chance, monthly once is a preferable, even if you got some option where you are able to attend 2 or 3 also fine. But as much as try to participate so that it's not only your idea, even some of the other teams will come and they will present. So try to participate regular basis. So that's 1. 2. This is very important. Just try to understand that image, looking at that image. As I said, empathy. Just try to understand that image will give you everything. Because until unless, if you won't spend good time with your consumer, you cannot understand their pain. If you are not going to feel their pain, you're never going to convert those features into your product or a service. You have to feel the same pain what your consumer is facing, right? So this is very important, empathy, or feel their pain, what we call. To do that, you need to spend some days, some weeks, some probably. Now, let's say one of the problem you want to solve for farmers, go to the farmers, spend in their home, spend in their backyards. Then only you will understand their pain. By just sitting in your home and speaking in a call, you never understand the pain of the consumer. Then third, industrial visits. So when I say industrial visits, not just looking at the buildings or something, infrastructure. You need to get inside, you need to understand what is the product they're trying to build, what is the features they are providing, how they built, all that. And TED Talks. So selectively pick one good TEDx, because TEDx is the one platform where essentially the entrepreneurs are going to share their success stories there. The kind of a pains, the kind of a mantras. And 5, so a lot of places startup events are happening. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with startup events. So don't assume that it's happening only in US or Mumbai or somewhere. No, it's happening in very much Hyderabad as well. Meetup.com is a one good place. Meetup, MEETUP.com. So very often, if you look at, there will be a lot of connects happening across our Hyderabad. So even networking is very important. And just try to watch one successful entrepreneur video, maybe whenever possible. I'm just giving a number, it's up to you. So these are the few of the habits which I feel very essential when you're trying to become an entrepreneur. So one of the important thing is always sell the problem which you're trying to solve, not the product. If you're trying to solve some good problem, that's it. For marketing purpose, selling the problem is a very important. Instead of selling your product, if you sell the problem, it's too easy. So nothing is a mistake. There is no win. There is no fail. There is only a make. Very powerful statement. So all the best. If you want to take a risk and come up with some idea and trying to solve some problem, welcome to the brave new world. Keep calm and launch a startup. And remember, it's IVI, which is iterate, validate and iterate until you make it right. As remember always, our enemy is the perfection. So you need to validate until you make it right. So I want to quickly end up with one of the parting thought. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read, write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, relearn, which is very important. So you can watch my videos on YouTube. This is my name, Mahesh Kumar CV. You have a lot of videos in YouTube as well. And the guys who are more keen on artificial intelligence, so just search my name in LinkedIn, go to blogs, you can see agriculture, finance, defense, banking, telecom, manufacturing, government services, energy, oil and gas, retail, aviation. It's the time for questions. And meanwhile, I'll just quickly pull up my LinkedIn profile as well. Yeah, go ahead with the questions, please. Meanwhile. So if you have a account in LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, go to my name and just go to articles. Here you can get it. 5 key questions to ask before starting AI project. These are the blogs. Just open it. Now let's say you want to understand how you can use AI for banking and energy, oil and gas and finance. You can see that these are the use cases. Okay. That's good to see. Still we got a double century, a plus half century, 276 people still alive in this session. Good to see. That's a good number. Yeah guys, it's your time. Shoot me. So still we are not running out of time. We have ample time. I thought at least we can have 15-20 minutes for Q&A. So that's the reason I just quickly completed my session. This is called business. Now my profit is around 30 minutes. Liffy, would you like to tell what did you innovate if you have any? Okay. So one of the problem in the beginning when we started this firm, we did a lot of ideations internally. In the 6-month span, we did just ideations, a lot of ideations, what problems to be solved. We just listed out all the problems. Then we decided we are not going to we are not capable of dealing with large organizations. Then selectively we identified sports. So in the sports, if you look at one of the things, we created a platform for video analytics. Now take example of a boxing. For boxing, you don't have any platform or something, where we created one platform. Once you upload the video, it will automate all your features. It can give you around 18 features. When you say boxing, 2+, right? So how many punches done by this boxer A to boxer B, where the punches are landed in the ring, how much speed of the punch, what is the time traveled in the ring, like that. We automated everything. So far, it took almost close to 2.5 year journey to create that platform. And we did with one of the world's best institution in the world for boxing. So that is a one innovation which we did. And even we, in the process of creating the smart jerseys for players, when usually if you look at for athletes, the matches data only taken into the consideration, and they will do that analysis on that, right? When an athlete is training, nobody is scared about that idea. That data is not in the system. Now we are trying to bring that data into the system. Come on, guys. This is your time. You can ask questions. Maybe anything. Even if you want to ask me technically also, I'm fine. No problem.
So can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, yes, madam. Please go ahead.
So, because as you are in this AI field, I wanted to know what would be your projection, regarding the applications of AI and machine learning in the education industry, sir. And how?
Yeah. Well, in a few places, AI is widely adapted in education industry. Maybe India, it is going to take some more time. But if you look at the Western world, people are already started using AI for education. For example, if you look at the assignments, now let's say being a lecturer for your students, you're given some assignment. Instead of you correct that assignments, where you have some program, you just upload all that the assignments written by students, and automatically it will do everything and it will give you the results for you, which is manually whatever the activities you guys do, that can be automated with the use of artificial intelligence. That's the one good thing. The second, in China, around 4 years back, they introduced one of the platform for education, and they deployed all the cameras in the classroom and 360. It covers 360 angle. And can you believe, for every 30 seconds, student will be monitored and they will understand how much time he is concentrating, how much time he is not. If that solution is implemented in India, I'm telling you, 90% of students will leave education. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And the other way around, robots are heavily deployed. See, usually when you talk about AI, it's mimicking the technology and whatever because humans are known for the intelligence, right?
True.
So that intelligence, we are just feeding into the machines. We are mimicking our human intelligence into machines. Now, whatever the manual activities which you are going to do, we can automate that.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing, Nashrin madam. Nowadays, if we look at the interviews,
yes, sir.
when these entire interviews are automated by robots. The other side, you'll get a voice, but it's not a human. The interview is entirely done by robot.
Oh.
It will understand whether you are tense, you are nervous, how much confident you are. It will evaluate everything.
Okay.
So this is got introduced around 2 years back in the Western world. So because while doing in the beginning, as you guys do admissions, as a formality, one of the round you will conduct interviews, right? Now that is automated. So just they need to sit in front of that application. They need to switch on their camera, and after 30 minutes, it will give you all the list.
Oh, wonderful. So one more thing I would like to ask you, sir. So in this past 2 years or 1.5 year, the post-pandemic, we have sensed that, some motivation and enthusiasm on part of the students has gone down. And many of them have cut themselves off because of, you shared a slide where you said, depression is going to be something which is going to be like, affecting whole of the world. We as students, we interact with them very personally. And I can say, some students who were very enthusiastic earlier on, their enthusiasm has gone down, sir. So I just wanted to, hear some motivating words from you for our students, who've stopped thinking. Okay, because we as teachers are finding it little hard to make the students get into the thinking mode and, develop that passion and that enthusiasm which was there earlier on. I know it's going to take some time, but some words, motivational words from you will really, I hope, will kickstart their thinking process.
Right. So this is problem for every industry, not only for education, even for employees, for everyone. It's a big tough time this last 2 years, especially in this pandemic. But one thing I can say, the students who are in the group here, I'm a bit jealous by looking at you guys, because we came from that generation where we don't have that much internet in those days. And imagine when I was doing my graduation, in those days, getting 128 kbps, I'm talking 128 kbps, getting that internet speed is a nightmare for us. Now just imagine with a 128 kbps, when you get into a website, when you type www.something.com, how much time it is going to open? If I click one more link, how much time it is going to open? Now we are talking about a technology with the kind of a hardware you guys you have right now, and with a speed of 30 mbps, 40 mbps, even some places it's terabytes, right? The kind of a speed you have. And let me tell you, I'm sure everyone, because I saw a lot of times Tesla was appearing in the chat box. So sometime back, Elon said one of the powerful statement. If you have that capability, if you have that patience, you can learn anything from the internet. You name it. You name it. Just you should have some kind of a patience to search the perfect video, and you will get it everything from the YouTube. I'm not sure how many people know this. Recently, I think 4 months back, I think NIA found one terrorist, where they just identified one terrorist, and he learned how to create a bomb using YouTube. When that is possible, this is the problem with the technology. If you are using the right way, yes. If you are using in the wrong way also, there are plus and minus, both are there. You tell me now, let's say whatever the business model we talk today, let's say you are not able to understand properly, just type in the business model overview in YouTube, you'll get it everything. Let me tell you, if you are keen, you want to build some kind of autonomous vehicle, for that also end to end, you have everything in YouTube. When you talk about AI, when you talk about Java, when you talk about anything, you have in YouTube. And luckily you have all this recorded. But problem is, you will have a lot of time of that videos. You don't have the patience to watch. This is a wonderful time. In this 2 years, if you kept some target, maybe your objective is a big one. Just try to split into tiny parts, make it micro steps. What is that step one? Now, let's say if I want to become that, make it as much as small chunks. Try to start learning one by one. As you know, you have a Coursera, YouTube, a lot of things are there which you can learn at free of cost. No need to even spend. You should have internet in your home, just open YouTube and even Coursera. A lot of things are there. That is the best way, I think.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I have some question here. Do you think learning different types of programming for students from any subject background is now necessary? Fatima, this question is, it's not mandatory for everyone to learn programming. It's good to have some kind of a programming. Now, let's say if your background is an MBA and your undergraduate is not computer science, then there is no point of learning programming. Rather, from business point of view, if you try to understand the use cases, when I say use cases, the one which I show in my blogs, when you use technology, let's say if I use artificial intelligence, what can be done in banking industry? If you know that kind of a knowledge, that is enough. Technically, you don't require to learn a programming language pertaining to your background if it is MBA and your graduation is not a programming language. If your graduation is a computer science, yes, it's mandated to learn. If you ask me, the current trend is Python. It's Python. And to learn AI, machine learning, this is the programming language we'll use. This is the future. The other side, yes, you should pick up one business area, maybe a manufacturing, maybe retail, maybe oil and gas. So just try to understand the business process, how the sales done, how the order processing is done, how the inventory is done. You need to understand the entire cycle. when you talk about a sales cycle, let's say you have a primary sales, secondary sales. What is that process looks like when you're talking about a secondary sales? What are the stakeholders involved in this? So like that, you need to understand the entire business process one side. You need to be a techno-functional. So those days are gone. Just if you're familiar with only one programming language, yes, you get a 5-digit salary. No. So nowadays, people are expecting you to be a techno-functional. One side understanding the business, other side understanding the technology. Sir, should we start to learn how to speak and understand Chinese now? Not at all required. Why? You have a translator. Chinese, not at all required. What do you want to move to China or what?
No, I think she's referring to that slide
No,
in
no,
the
no.
video where you said maximum people will be learning Chinese and next Spanish.
Next is India, right? Next is India. In terms of population, yes. Because unfortunately, China has only one language and India, we have multiple languages. Even in that way also, if you look at Hindi, Tamil, Telugu is a widely used language across the globe after the English. I'm not sure how many people know this. Yes, this is correct. As you mentioned in the previous slides that 50% of employment will be done by AI, then what about unemployed issues? See, going forward, there will be two types of persons. One, who acquire some knowledge in AI and challenge the AI, one side. The other side, the second category, the people who don't know AI, they will be absorbed by AI. Simple. Going forward, there will be only two persons. AI, if you learn AI and then challenge AI. Two, if you don't know AI, that AI will absorb you. So there is some kind of a reskilling required to survive. It's happening everywhere. That's what we are talking about 4.0, 5.0 industrialization, automation, all that, right? So it's everywhere. It's not only for a one specific field or something. One more question here. So I rather always prefer to take this kind of a sessions in person, but unfortunately, as this planned online, maybe whenever if there is some opportunity, surely we'll meet in person. I'll always prefer to do this kind of sessions in person.
Definitely.
Because I don't know how many people are sleeping here, how many people are eating breakfast, how many people are taking breakfast, taking coffee. Sania, yeah. Do you know about 4.0 revolution? Yeah. See, now we are talking about the 5.0 with the latest advancements. So those were the days, if you go back to the 1.0, that's the steam engine. And then 2.0, where we have the systems, analytics in place. Then third, we got huge infrastructure in place with the considering the data as a key. So data monetization that came into the 3.0. Now we are talking about as the AI robotics came into the picture, 4.0, automation. Yeah, this is a good question. These building segments and game-changing habits, particularly for business in India, are is supposed to be followed by worldwide. See, business is a global, as don't restrict business India region-wise. So if you want to become entrepreneur, yes, these habits are mandate. This will be good for you. I don't say it's a mandate, but it's good to have this kind of adapting these kind of mental habits and mindsets. It's for everyone. It's not only specific to India, because everyone at the end of the day, they're trying to solve the problem. Now, if you take this example, as we're talking about the Aravind Eye Hospital, they're trying to solve the problem for at a global level, not for India level, right? Okay, I think we are done with the questions. Maybe in a few minutes, while the vote of thanks will be done, I'll be sharing some links. Just try to focus on those links.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kumar, for such a wonderful session. And I'm sure many of our students are, already thinking, and also some of them might be scared, okay, what is in store for them. But then your motivational words have, I'm sure they, they have really helped them, and, they will utilize the insights that you have given us through this very informative and eye-opening session. It was really an eye-opener for many of us, because many of us are still not aware of what's happening in the world. And thank you so much, sir, for this session. And we would like to present you with a token of a virtual token of appreciation. Pushpa ma'am, if you can please share the slide. And I thank all the participants, and I would now like to invite Kavya, one of our students, to present the vote of thanks, sir. Kavya, please come, dear. Kavya, you need to unmute yourself. Pushpa ma'am, can you unmute Kavya, please? Who is the host? I'm the host. Okay. Kavya, try unmuting yourself. Yeah, Kavya, yes, you can start.
Honorable Chief Guest Mr. Mahesh Kumar sir, Sister Principal, IIC President Mr. Venugopal sir, and Vice President Ms. Sri Kala ma'am, Coordinator of Innovation Ms. Sujata ma'am, and to the IIC committee and the members. I, on behalf of St.Anne's College for Women and the entire IIC committee, let me call it a fraternity of upcoming entrepreneurs here together, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the speaker for gracing your important work and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. A big thank you to Mr. Mahesh Kumar sir for his efforts towards innovation. Perfection is the reigning key to right. Thank you, sir. We will definitely refer to your works ahead in future. Special thanks to Sister Principal and IIC President and Vice President Mr. Venugopal sir and Ms. Sri Kala ma'am for arranging and providing a platform like this to learn and grow. Final thanks to IIC committee members and all those who are part of today's event for making it interactive and interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So guys, I just shared a few of the links. I thought it might be useful for you who are looking more from an innovation perspective, because a lean startup is one of the very powerful concept. So I just shared some links in the chat box. Maybe you can just, it's a free of cost, just you need to register yourself. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'd like to say a big thanks on the behalf of the management of St.Ann College. Thank you. Have a nice day, guys.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
Yes, Nasrin.
I forgot to tell you, Sujata madam, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Sir,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
everyone switch on your cameras. We will take one group photo.
Okay.
All the students, please switch on your cameras. Ramya, Swati, Pravalika.
Oh, come on, we are maintaining already social distance. No need of mask.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Madhuri, what about feedback form? Unmute Sujata. Sujata, unmute yourself.
Ma'am, one moment, ma'am.
Now you can unmute Sujata.
Feedback link, Madhuri feedback link.
Ma'am, it's I sent here. 1 second.
This feedback link will be put up in the chat box. Yes, you all can fill up the feedback and then you can get the certificates. If you don't get the certificate today, don't be under tense. Tomorrow again you'll get it because first 100 will be generated first and then later on 100. I think it's very clear, girls. It's put up so you can just fill the feedback.
Yes, ma'am.
Filling the feedback form also, please be careful. Wrong entries may not be corrected again. So please try to fill the feedback form with utmost care. Again, editing will be difficult for us.